Hello there guys, this is Vari3tyGam3rs bringing you some Battlefield 3 Team Deathmatch on the Gulf man. And before you go, whoa, Team Deathmatch on Battlefield 3? You a fucking noob, bro? Nah, I'm not a noob, it's just, well, really, Team Deathmatch on Battlefield 3 is really the most friendly gameplay I can get, considering I have a 15-minute time limit. I can't really upload a Rush or Conquest game because that would take too long, and I probably wouldn't even commentate for that long anyway. I would recommend, if you guys want to see that kind of stuff, go and see this guy called Luton. He does great Battlefield 3 videos and is a really good commentator in general. But anyway, let's get into this commentary. So I'm going to be discussing Battlefield 3 Armored Kill in two ways. Number one is my concerns for the difference between consoles and PC, and the other one is the certain mechanics that are implemented into Armored Kill that I reckon I'll be looking out for and really judging them and see how they do. But anyway, on to the first point. So on Battlefield 3 Armored Kill, you obviously know that consoles have a player limit of 24, but PC has a player limit of 64. Now, this was raised before the game that console won't be as enjoyable as PC because, well, we ain't got the same amount of players as PC does, and it's a bummer. But the problem is that console don't really have the hardware specifications to handle Battlefield 3 on more than 24 players, considering Battlefield 3 has a Frostbite 2 engine that was developed in, what, it's 2012 standard, and consoles were released in 2005, 6, or 2007, I may be wrong. But anyway, so with Battlefield 3 Armored Kill, a lot of people are saying on consoles it's not going to be fun. And you might be asking yourself, well, why wouldn't it be fun? Simply because there are less players. They're saying with the scale of the maps and the distances of the flags, it will just be boring and you'll hardly run into anybody. But this is probably a point raised by people who don't understand that DICE always scale down big maps on consoles. So on PC coverage in the trailers, you might see that flags are 1,000 meters apart, there's tons of vehicles, and you might be like, that's not going to work on console, that's too far, I won't run into anyone. Well, with Battlefield 3 Armored Kill on console, DICE will scale down the maps in such a way that the flag distances will be smaller, and the spawns will be, I think that's further apart. I think it's just the flag distances. And what this does, by making the flag distances a lot less, if that makes sense, you know, a smaller distance, then that means that people are going to be closer together, which means you're going to run into more people. It will mean more action. Now with PC, they're going to keep it the same because of 64 people. You know, 32 versus 32, it's going to be a lot of action anyway compared to the 12v12 on console. And if it's going to be implemented on all maps, then it's actually going to reduce the map size itself on console. They're just going to, you know, reduce the flag sizes, which is a good thing. I would really hate it if they reduced the map size, because that means you wouldn't have as much space to fly around in the jets and all that stuff. And also, I said I won't go into this, but the Armored Kill maps will have a higher flight ceiling, which I'm looking forward to, because I absolutely hate it when I'm flying a jet in Battlefield 3 and suddenly I just stop and I stall. So that's really annoying. It should be really fun in Battlefield 3 Armored Kill, depending on how much they raise that ceiling. But anyway, so on console, yeah, I can understand. It probably will be a lot less action-packed, but I'm sure DICE will take the necessary measures to make it as fun for console as it is on PC. I have no doubt in my mind that they'll do it. I have faith in their ability to do it. They did it with the core game as well, because if you think about it, if you compare PC maps, the big ones, to console maps, the big ones, you can clearly see there's less flags, you know, they're less distances apart, and practically it just provides more action. And that's another thing in Armored Kill, we're not going to get the 9 flags on console. Most likely on console, we're not going to get the 9 or 8, we're just going to get 5 or 4 flags. That might be a bummer, but that's what they have to do. But on to my second point now, which is some of the mechanics that they are implementing into Battlefield 3 Armored Kill. There's really one mechanic that I'm really interested and intrigued in, and that is the AC-130 gunship. You know, the Angel of Death, the one that was really introduced as a kill streak in, you know, the Call of Duty series. And sorry for mentioning Call of Duty in the Battlefield video, but I just thought it was relevant. So anyway, The AC-130 gunship, if a lot of you don't know, it will have one main 120mm cannon, an anti-air gun, or cannon, and I'm not quite sure if it will have that 60mm cannon or not. We're just going to have to wait and see. But for all of you who don't know, you're not going to be able to fly this thing manually, and I'm glad that DICE has taken the exact steps in order to make sure people don't, because I could really imagine noobs getting into an AC-130, flying it, and flying a massive gunship into a village or in the middle of a tank battle. It would just be chaos, you know, and it would probably really damage the experience for other players. It would harm their experience, and I reckon it was a good decision on DICE's part to make the AC-130 so it's just manual, nobody can fly it. But also, for another point that people didn't know, to get in the AC-130, you have to control a certain base. Now, I don't really know how this will work. I think it will probably work, so if you control a base, there will be, like, you remember them air raid bunkers in Battlefield 1943 where you called in the air raid and you were in, like, that little concrete thing with the radar on top? I reckon it will be something like that. But the problem, or the fears I have with this, is that I can see people not giving a crap about any of the other bases apart from the AC-130 base. Especially on console, I can probably see a whole team camping out at an AC-130 base, you know, just defending the hell out of it, just so they can have the AC-130 all the time. And yeah, that would mean that the other team could have all the flags and they would win, but I can primarily see people wanting to spam the heck out of the AC-130, which might not be a good thing. We'll just have to see how that goes. And another thing I was wondering is, we don't know how you're going to get in the AC-130, but if you get into like an air raid bunker thing, then that'll be cool, that'll be fine by me. 2 people in there, that's fine. Or, it wouldn't really make sense, but would it automatically transport you to it? So let's say you get in, like, I don't know, bunker type thing, and you're in the AC-130, and when you want to exit the AC-130, could you imagine skydiving out of it? That would be pretty awesome, you know? And I'm just wondering, how are you gonna, you know, exit or get in? That's an interesting fact. The most likely answer is probably gonna be like a air raid bunker, probably that kind of stuff. Sorry for the voice break there, but I reckon it would just be the safest way, and I could actually imagine skydiving after exiting the AC-130. That'd be pretty badass. I'd probably, you know, do that quite a lot just for the heck of it. It would be pretty fun. But with the AC-130, another thing I want to raise is how they're going to balance it out. I don't know if they're going to make it underpowered, overpowered, or just normal. Now, in the trailers, from what I've seen, the AC-130 don't really look that powerful. I don't want it to be so it's underpowered, but I don't want it overpowered. I want it to be just right. And DICE usually seems to get that right, but sometimes on rare occasions they don't. But we're just going to see how they deal with that issue. I want it so it's going to be a use on the battlefield, but if the AC-130 is so underpowered that it's not going to be of any use at all, it might as well not be there. So we're going to have to see how that works out. And hopefully the 120mm cannon will do some real damage on buildings and groups of people. You don't want it so overpowered that the splash damage is so massive that it will kill everybody in an entire village if you know, fire one of them bad boys down on them. But we're just going to have to wait and see how they deal with that issue. I'm going to have to see if they balance it right. I have faith in DICE to do so. But I don't know what it is about DICE lately. They've just been a bit rocky. They've been a bit, you know, not the same. I'm starting to wonder if they're smoking pot whilst working on Battlefield 3 over at a studio in Stockholm. I wouldn't be surprised, actually. Probably get some marijuana, some pot, and just sit there. Probably just do some random shit. So, yeah, guys, that's about it. And if you liked this video, please rate and comment. And until next time, this is Josh from Vari3tyGam3rs. Peace out.